How old were you when you first started?
16.
You were how old?
16.
And you went to Hallmark Cards first?
Cheers.
So why didn't you go to work at Hallmark?
When I was 16 years old and looking for a job, the employment office sent me to Hallmark Cards. I walked in the door, and the receptionist told me, asked me if I had a high school diploma. I said, no, I didn't. I said, I'm just looking for an ordinary job. And she said, we don't hire anybody without a high school diploma. But Marion gave me a chance and hired me, and I've been ever so grateful all my life. They were probably the best company you could ever hope to work for. I'd always heard Hallmark was the best, but it didn't compare to Marion Labs. And Mr. Hughes and Mr. Kaufman both were like father figures to their employees, and they treated us with respect. They expected work out of you, but they certainly did treat you with respect, and we all were willing to work very hard for them. I still go to lunch with, so I ended up being a supervisor for Marion for label control, and did that for 20 years.
You created the label.
I created the label room, and to follow FDA's guidelines, and we all were very dedicated to the company as launching new products and working for them. And you know, it was probably the best thing that happened to me in my life, and I'll never forget it.
Besides your daughter.
Besides my daughter. But I still have lunch with about 25 ladies that I worked with for all those years, and we still enjoy seeing each other and talking about the old times. In fact, just a gentleman that I worked with for all those years just passed away, and we all went to his funeral, and his family said they'd never seen so many people, that their dad had been gone from Marion for 30 years, and yet all the people turned out to see him and go to his funeral. And so that says a lot about, and he was a plant manager, so that tells you a lot about the quality of people that worked at Marion and how they cared about each other. And I don't know that there's that kind of business out there today, and it's just too bad. I wish it were.
What about Mr. The Uncommon Company?
Well, another thing that Marion did was Mr. Kaufman set up a program. It was called, no, I can't think. It's in that book. A spirit suggestion program. And in most companies, if you have suggestions, you put the suggestions down on paper and they become the part of the company, and you get not much more than a thank you for it. At Marion Laboratories, if you had a suggestion, you wrote it down, you turned it in, it was evaluated, and if it was a usable suggestion, they would put it to use, and you would get rewarded with stocks in the company, or trips, or a weekend even at a hotel in downtown Kansas City with you and your spouse, all paid for, depending on how much that suggestion would generate benefit the company. And that was very important. I ended up earning quite a few stock certificates and many awards. I've got a notebook full of the certificates of awards that I got, and it really made you have a drive to find ways to make the job better. And we all worked at it, and we were all very excited about the program and applied ourselves. It's just a sense of pride. It's a sense of pride of working there and accomplishing things. And I mean, when we'd launch a product, sometimes we would work 2-3 days straight in a row and maybe go home every second day to take a shower and come back to work again. That's how dedicated we were to making sure that the product got out and in good shape and on time. So it was just a good company to work for.